Okay, so it's time to start talking about, what am I doing? Bride of Chucky, that's right. So, anyways, last time I did Child's Play 3. Yeah, you were in it. And yeah, I mean, it's an okay film and all that, but this film takes like a completely different shift in like, just how the approach was. I mean, it went comedy. The only thing else I can compare it to is like how differently it shifted in Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I guess that's the closest. Everything kind of devolved into something else, but this was just boom, comedy right after the other. So ever read Grapes of Wrath at the ending? Kind of same thing. But I don't know, I don't want to start off a rant, so let's just take a brief look at the plot, and we'll go from there. Well, it's strange that somehow Chucky's remains ended up in an evidence locker, considering that the story of the doll is kind of unbelievable in the first place, but that's a whole nother conversation. I find it hilarious that Jason, Michael, and Freddy have their stuff in there too. Freddy's glove? Really? And first of all, did this all happen in the same area? Anyways, I think it's like a federal thing. But anyways, I guess they found the glove in the scrapyard. Whatever. Tiff puts Chucky back together like Frankenstein, and the two of them reunite. I say reunite in the loosest sense because at first I'm thinking, how the shit is this guy involved in your life? Maybe she was one of those weird chicks that like writes to like death row inmates and shit like that. Anyways, basically weird shit goes down and Chucky works with voodoo and bang, she's in the doll. And now they have to go get an amulet. Yeah, an amulet. Anyway, in order to get in human form. Hold on. Where did the amulet thing come from? Like, I know there's references to other movies and stuff. I'm cool with the Frankenstein thing. Made sense at the beginning. There's kind of a loose reference there. She watches a movie, Bride of Frankenstein. Obviously, she's, I guess the bride of Chucky, Frankenstein. But the amulet thing, I don't recall that from part 1, do you? Or any other part of the movie? He never required this, so... like, it was cool before. Like, he just, he'd lay down the doll, or, Andy, or, dude from part 3, and he'd do the, I can't do it, I don't have voodoo, man, don't worry. And, you believe in that shit? They get a ride to New Jersey, and this idiot couple filled with, like, teen angst. Okay, I gotta be honest here. These two and their friend serve as nothing more than a ride, literally. They drive, and stuff happens around them, but it's all Chucky and Tiff. Some of you thinking, oh, but wait, Tiff and, whatever the hell that other girl's name is, they shared a moment. Tiff connected and blah, blah, blah. No. Useless characters. So yeah, they gotta get to New Jersey because Chucky was buried with his amulet. I guess we should talk about the characters. You want to talk about the characters? Let's talk about the characters. It's essentially the dolls, but I gotta fill in the rest. So, where to begin? Okay, the girl. I keep forgetting her name because honestly, like, I blank out when I watch her, but the guy that should be on Dawson's Creek, whatever, Tiff's crush or what. Anyway, she's an idiot. I can sum her up in one sentence.
I love lilies.
So there, we're done. Jesse, first of all, great body. Kudos for working out. Which, by the way, later on in the movie, that cop pushes him around, which, oddly enough, he reminds me of Dewey, David Arquette from Scream. Regardless though, wasn't this guy kind of built? He's lifting up a case with an entire body in it and stuff like that, but he can't like push around this cop. I get it, he's a cop and shit, but it seems like one of those small town things where like it wouldn't really matter if you punched him out. It's like, dude from down the street is a cop. They might have, I don't know, he probably graduated high school like a year before them. I don't want to go on that kind of rant, but it doesn't make sense. But Jesse, could you not insert him in Dawson's Creek and you wouldn't skip a beat? I think so. You watched Dawson. I know I watched Dawson's Creek too. John Ritter actually has one of the best lines in the movie.
You fuck, but you won't. Not Jade anyway, not anymore.
I mean, how classic is that line? I mean, that just puts the kid down, and it was quick and clever. So anyways, rest in peace, John Ritter. Pretty sure he's Canadian, so I guess one of my Canadian brothers died there. Could be wrong with that. Pretty sure he's Canadian though. You keep this up, you're not going to be in the next video. You're only allowed in doll videos. Yeah, then there's the buddy. Yeah, what's his name? I don't know. He could be in Dawson's Creek too. But the best thing about him is, like, he's kind of reasonable. All these characters are just filler characters. They don't matter. They just say the dumbest shit, and then there's circumstances that they create in which you insert, Tiff and Chucky in there, and that's the whole point of them. But hey, he gets nailed by a truck, and this was a better scene. Do you remember Meet Joe Black? When, I guess it was supposed to be a serious scene, but he walks across the street and he gets hit by one car and just goes boom, 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 and it was, I'm sorry, I don't know if that was supposed to be a serious scene, but it was fucking hilarious. This guy gets annihilated by a truck. It's like he got hit by a, I don't know, 500-pound bunker buster or something like that. It was great. And at the same time, kind of sad and unexpected. I mean, why would you walk out onto the fucking highway and just, oh, there's cars here? No shit. I mean, you know, if I'm on a main road, I wouldn't like lollygag across, you know, to go to the fish and chips, which is closed, which is do you like fish? And whatever. Anyways, but it was awesome. He exploded. That's fucking great. Chucky in this movie has a personality that obviously differs from the first three. In the first three, he had his lines. He had things about his personality that were very likable. But this turns him into almost like it's comedic, yeah, but like it feeds into the ego that we've imposed on him. So it's almost like this awesome kind of like experiment where, well, it's not an experimental movie, although a crazy shift, but you get to indulge in ego. Okay, you can't hear him, but you know, yeah, I am talking with ego, and frankly, your ego is getting out of hand because you're trying to. I'm doing a fucking review right now. You've been in 3 videos. This is your 3rd, so you're one to talk. But anyways, and then there's Tiff, and you get to see Chucky interact with Tiff, and Tiff is important, no doubt, but she's kind of there to balance this relationship type of joke, like the dynamics of basically like a chauvinistic pig in Chucky, and he's psychotic, and this girl who's psychotic, and there's funny little romantic moments where it's kind of like dark and twisted and things like that, but I don't know, it kind of sears that, but she's a necessity in the film. So, I mean, you can't get rid of that element, otherwise it's just Chucky. There would be no point to the plot. And interesting enough, actually, they switched this, and this is the first film, I guess, he's not going after a child. He's going after an adult. See to Chucky, they go after an adult too. I'll get into that, I guess, when I do see. You know, I don't know what to say. I mean, the jokes were hilarious. Chucky in this film, we get a totally new perspective on his personality because you almost warm up to the guy. Well, he's a doll. I'm not saying you're not a person, but you're a doll. He's a doll too. But he had a body at one point. You were just made. But you get to see this side of his personality where it's humorous. It's like it's almost like he's your buddy that he's not safe. But I want to talk about Tiff. Tiff's essentially there as like a supporting character to bounce jokes off of it, and they're freaking hilarious. Like, I mean, the shit they go through is funny. It indulges our ego. You're right. It indulges the ego that we put into Chucky, and we get to receive that. Like all of his lines, all of his like, I don't know, just vicious demeanor, his carelessness, his selfishness, and all that stuff, and it's great. And he does it in a humorous way. So in that respect, the movie on its own, as far as a comedic aspect, is great. I mean, yeah, it really feeds into the ego that we put into this guy. I say guy, it's a doll. No, you're not a person. I don't care if you've seen the movie Ted. You're not a person. You're fucking. I'm talking to myself right now, essentially, which is disturbing on camera to YouTube, and you're arguing with me, which is essentially myself. You know. And you've been in 3 videos too, so stop bitching. This is your 3rd one. You can only appear in doll videos, and this is Danny the Devil. Dino named him. Anybody can name you. You're a doll. I love the way Chucky looks in this movie, like stitched together and things like that. That's another one of those things that I kind of like reference back to. You're stitched together too, buddy, so don't complain, or don't bitch about it at least. But he's stitched together like Frankenstein, and so that's the reference there. So I think he looks really badass, and I like that the eye thing and all that. Isn't it really suiting? You know, the first one was great because it's that unexpected. Well, he was new too, right? So I guess you can't be all beat up like that. But whatever, he came back to life. One thing about the movie I will say though is that there's times when they play rock music, and like I like the Rob Zombie songs that they put in there. I really do. I enjoy them. It's too bad they don't. They should put more Human Than Human in there. It actually would have made sense, and that's an awesome song too. But it got a little bit distracting. I mean, like okay, I'm gonna change. I haven't edited this yet. But what if I start right now playing rock music like this really loud, and I'm trying to like get a thing across to you. Anyways, I'll turn the volume down now. It's a little bit, I should have left it up because the goddamn truck did. I'm sick of these fucking trucks. Anyways, but you gotta take it down a notch, right? And especially when it stops abruptly in some scenes, it's like da 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 boom, and then they just go into dialogue. It's a little distracting, you know. Is this a music video or a fucking movie? Can you get a load of this scene? Voodoo for Dummies. I mean, how fucking hilarious is that? Voodoo for Dummies, like as if that book exists. And if, you know what? I bet it does. I bet you that book exists somewhere. Not that specific one, but I bet you there's shit like that. There's definitely books on voodoo, but. Yeah, you know, I based that on the Christmas one that you were in. What do you think I was talking about in that goddamn film? Or, I don't even know what that was. What an odd creation by me. But that is hilarious. And the funny thing is that shit like that goes, they just insert shit like that goes off the wall. Freddy Krueger, I'm talking about like the big slashers here, but Freddy Krueger is guilty of that. Jason to a certain degree, there's elements, not the book reference specifically, but just how absurd some things get. You know what? This film is kind of like if you sent Michael Myers to like Judge Judy, and he was being charged with like property damage. I don't know. It feels. I don't know why I'm saying that, but it feels like that's essentially what I'm watching almost. That's really abstract, so I hope you kind of get what I'm saying by that. She is fair. She is not sexist. She is fair. It's a good show. I don't care what one thing I find funny is like at the beginning, yeah, now you look rad. You look rad. One thing at the beginning though I find kind of funny is the Universal credits. Really crisp for some reason, crisper than it usually is. But why is the Earth mapped out in like a heat signature from space, like a satellite? Like, you know, like look at it. Isn't that kind of strange? But I don't know, look cool. But the evidence locker, I gotta talk about that one more time, specifically the Jason mask. How sad is that Jason mask? I know it probably has something to do with, I don't know, copyright or whatever the case is, but clearly that's Jason's mask. And it looks terrible. It absolutely looks terrible. Oh, hey, you wanna see something fun? Check out this, holy tits. That's fun for everybody, right? Yeah, you probably like tits and that because, you know, it's the height thing. Easier to dance with, too. If this film was made without any previous Child's Play movies, people would say this was one of the most hilarious horror movies ever. I bet it would be talked about as a favorite instead of a good movie, but getting flack for derailing into something else. On its own, I think it would have been a hit. It's kind of sterile in the sense that you feel like you're just on a car ride and waiting to get there. The ending sucked anyways, and Tiff giving birth was fucking disturbing. I guess a sequel had to be made just to explain it, but when I first saw this, I honestly thought it was like an Alien spoof. There are a lot of references in this movie. I mean, Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein, I guess that's the title of the movie. The amulet thing, there's a few movies with that, but I don't know, maybe it has something to do with like Van Helsing or something, I'm not sure. Before I wrap this up though, what's with the guy at the start? I mean, what the hell is with that? Could you imagine filming this and what that would have been like? Hilarious, but I don't know what drugs they're on when they came up with that idea. I don't know what else there is to say about this film other than it led to the seed of Chucky, and the art world certainly gives thanks for that blessing. I'll get to that, but I guess I'll end with Chucky sending it off.
It ain't the size that counts, asshole. It's what you do with it.
No, you got to do that in the last film. I told you that was the last time you get to do this, and you know, you're in every freaking video now, and you keep going on.